Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with our second media availability of the day. In advance of the Alpha Energy Solutions 250, we are joined by NASCAR Camping World Truck Series drivers Kyle Benjamin, driver of the number 54 Crossley Brands and Tropicana Toyota, Timothy Peters, driver the number 92 BTS Tire Wheel Distributors, and Ben Rhodes, driver the number 41 Alpha Energy Solutions Ford. Short tracks normally or often offer great racing here, very competitive. Can you guys talk a little bit about your approach this weekend and kind of what you expect?
Number one, I'm just glad to be back. First start of the year. Love this racetrack. Cut my teeth on tracks around here with late model stock, just like the guys beside of me. So just thank Ricky Benton for the opportunity to come up here with the BTS Ford F-150 and to a place that I call home, and can't wait to get out there and mix it up.
Well, I think you've seen some pretty close racing this year with the new Ilmor motor for the truck series. You look at Las Vegas, Atlanta. I think it's been a pretty good show, and I'm excited to see what it's going to do here at Martinsville Speedway between the Built Motors and the NT1. So I think it'll be a good show. We just have to keep our truck in one piece. That's kind of been the problem of mine in the past, either brake failures or something happening. We just need to be in one piece at the end, and I think we'll be fast enough for our top 5.
Yeah, the main thing is trying to make it to the end. If you make it to the end, you have a shot to win. Just got to try to get my truck right today. And first off, I want to thank all the guys at DGR for the opportunity to be behind the wheel of this truck. It means a lot to me, especially coming here to a track I've wanted to race at my entire life. And I've actually never even seen it in person. So this is going to be a whole new experience for me, short track racing, which is what I'm used to. So I'm excited to do that again. And like I said, just making it to the end, keeping the fenders on it, and seeing what happens.
Awesome. We're going to go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start here in the front and work our way to the back.
Barry Richmond, WAKJ Piedmont Broadcasting Corporation. This question is for Timothy Peters. And Timothy, having, as you mentioned a moment ago, been away from this series, talk about the competition level that you've seen in racing late model and other divisions, because we know that's the feeder group for the other series. And then, of course, you coming back this weekend as well.
Well, the guys, since being away, been working a lot with our late model stock car team, the Autos by Nelson, and we loaded those guys up yesterday, Brandon Pierce and Bobby McCarty, to head to Myrtle Beach for the Cars Tour race. I was able to participate in the first season opening race at Tri-County a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, it was a really tough field. I felt like that it was, a mini field of here, You had Lee and Tommy Lemons, Josh Berry, all those guys. So short track racing is really thriving right now. And there is a line from here to Myrtle Beach and back that, deserves an opportunity to be here today, to be in one of these trucks, because they are talented groups. It's just, it's a selective few that can get in, however they get in, they're still deserving to be here. This type of racing is the best. It's the closest to grassroots racing there is. And especially here at Martinsville, the trucks always put on a great show. Side-by-side racing, there might be a little bit of fender damage, door damage, or the only thing straight would be the greenhouse at the end of the race, and you can still have a decent finish, and you got a lot of mad people, but that's what this is all about, So there is a lot of talent and a lot of tough competition in the truck series. Obviously Kyle and Ben have proven that throughout their career, and, Ben winning last year in a race at Las Vegas that, in my opinion, was not given to him. He earned that, and he had to fight for it too. So these guys are tough. I'm 37, and I feel old, but I feel as young as they do. So, it's going to be fun to get out there and tune in our Black's Tire F-150, and hopefully that we can be in position tomorrow to see the finish and the checker flag. And if that's the case, then we can execute on a win, hopefully.
Jacob Seelman with Speed Sport. I've got two. The first for Timothy. Talk a little bit more about what you've been doing with your late model program here late, if you would, and then what it means to now, after dropping back to that, to be back in a truck this weekend and to have somebody like Ricky still believe in what you're capable of behind the wheel to give you the shot.
Yeah, when I got the call from Ricky, that was, it made me feel good of, still knowing that people think I can still get the job done. I don't think that's a thought, but it's just the way that the era is now. Ricky has done a lot for racing across the board. He and I have been friends for a long time. Raced late model stock car with him in between late models, Pro Cup, truck, Xfinity, and Cup. He's had a lot of success and has contributed a lot to many garages and far as people. So it felt good to get that phone call to jump back into a truck, especially here at home. Basically with my time, I've been with our Nelson Motorsports, autosbynelson.com late model team with Bobby McCarty, myself, Brandon Pierce, and just really trying to focus on that, making it better. We have a great group of people inside of our organization that help it. Marcus Richmond and I have always been best friends growing up. We graduated school together. He's a big player in that. David Triplett, and again, the guys in the shop, Jeff Cessna, DJ Jack, Curtis Martin, and mostly Barry Nelson for the opportunity that he gives all of us to go and have fun and try to give back some of the grassroots racing.
And for Kyle, you're another one that has really kind of had to piece your opportunities together as you can come across them. Talk what it means to be able to drive for DGR Crosley this weekend, and for you to have another opportunity in a time period where we know you've got one more Xfinity race this season, but outside of that, it's kind of cloudy for you right now.
Yeah, it just means everything to get the opportunity. You work your whole life to get here. You're kind of fighting tooth and nail to try to make it to the top ultimately. And it gets difficult around the truck series, and just getting all the opportunities you can, staying in the seat as much as possible, and trying to get up there at the right time. A lot of it's timing too. You got to do the right things on the track and time it. But it's trying to stay optimistic and do the best you can behind the wheels, all you can really do. But it doesn't mean everything to me to get opportunities from, DGR. Been fortunate for the Gibbs piece. I've been really fortunate so far and thankful for what I've had already, and hopefully it turns into more. In the 54. No, I never got in the 54. Oh. Yeah, that. Okay, yeah.
We can go next.
Yeah, ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Timothy, can you talk about the opportunity with Ricky Benton? Is it a one-race deal? Is it a couple-race deal? And same thing for Kyle. Is it a one-race deal or a couple-race deal for DGR?
Right now our focus is on tomorrow's race, and again, thankful for what he's done to let me drive his truck and work with Mike Hester, and have been able to meet a lot of the guys today. As far as going forward, we'll just have to see how tomorrow goes. So hopefully there's more opportunities to be back in the trucks, and I would really love to do it with Ricky Benton Racing.
We can go next to Caleb.
Caleb Whistler, Kicking the Tires. Kyle, what has been the anticipation for tomorrow's race, knowing that it's your first truck start?
Pretty high, actually. Haven't been in the seat in a while, so just trying to keep the rust knocked off. Running at tracks like Greenville Pickens, and coming here and doing the best I can. Like I said earlier, really all you can do is the best you can. You don't have to. You don't really have to worry about things that can happen. Just try to work on the things you can control and perform to the best of your abilities. And if you do that, then you'll be happy, or I'll be happy at least.
Can you finish your question?
Kyle, is your deal with DGR just one race deal right now?
Yeah, one race.
You can go front to Tim.
JimMutterMotorsport.com. For Ben, you are off to and finishes wise slightly better start than you were last season, but you haven't led any laps. I just wondered, how do you do you think you're in a better position than you were last year, and how do you feel generally coming into Martinsville? Some people it's love or hate relationship.
Yeah, I think we're certainly in a lot better position than we were last year, and I think the year's definitely taken off a lot better for us. Although we had a couple of hiccups, Daytona we qualified pretty far back. We weren't really worried about stage points or getting to the front and leading laps. Only the last one, we were able to get a fourth place finish there. We got a fourth place at Atlanta with some severe motor issues. We looked back at the truck and some data from the ECU, and it was actually shutting off in the corners for about a second and a half. in the middle of the corners. And so, I mean, with all that being said, for the start of the season, I still feel like a fourth place, and a seventh at Las Vegas, where it was like a little Talladega, wasn't bad. I feel like a place like this, you know, it's like Talladega or Daytona in a sense that you can get caught up in bad things that aren't really your fault, and you do have to survive. But I feel like this gives us an awesome opportunity. We've had success here in the past. We've had really good speed. We're kind of going back to what we know, some of the basics for this racetrack. And I feel like between all the momentum we've had this season, you know, all the people that are here to support us, Alpha Energy Solutions being the sponsor of the race, I feel like there's a lot of good things that could happen at this racetrack this weekend. But like I said, we just got to survive. We've had a couple bad races here in the past.
We're going to go back to Caleb.
Ben, how difficult is it to get into a rhythm knowing that you kind of go 3 races, have a couple weeks off, come here, and then have 5 weeks off?
It's tough. I mean, you go from Atlanta to Vegas, and that was nice compared to years past. You know, you used to go to just Atlanta, and then you wait till Martinsville. But now we have that 5-week break from now to the next race at Dover. It's just absolutely crazy. I wish we had some more races to kind of fill the schedule, or maybe that the schedule was pieced or spread out a little bit more. You know, because once May hits, it's tough. But I know that myself, the team, we need that time. Even though we're not at the racetrack, we can use this time for every ounce that it's worth. And the reason why is just, you know, we switched to Ford this year, and we need all the time we can get. We haven't been to the wind tunnel yet. We haven't done any of these other things that teams like KBM or GMS are doing to get ahead. This allows us to do some R&D on our side and really work off the track to get that speed. And a lot of the speed you see nowadays is made from the shop, you know, the wind tunnel, 7-post machines, stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of a blessing, but at the same time, the racer in me wants to race every single day, every single night.
From your perspective, how has the transition for ThorSport as a whole to Ford been?
It's been good. It's been a really good transition. I love the way that Ford has welcomed us into the family with open arms. But at the same time, you know, I would have loved to try to get into the wind tunnel, some other resources a little sooner. But I know that we have this whole month of April. It's been just hard enough as it is to get the trucks built for Daytona. You know, it was only 3 weeks from when they made the announcement and switch to Daytona, and you know, I ran a backup BKR truck at Daytona. So that was, if we were doing everything we could just to get to the track, and now that we had these weeks off before Martinsville and the weeks off after Martinsville, I feel like this is kind of our time to reset and really focus for the playoffs. You know, the first 3 races were really we were just trying to get through them, and we did pretty good, you know, to all top 10 finishes, finished all the laps, and 2 fourth-place finishes, and that was just trying to finish. And I feel like now that we've reset, I feel like we're going to be doing pretty good.
And we're going to wrap it up with Jacob.
Ben, what's the atmosphere like when you come back in, particularly for this race in the spring, with how much involvement your family has in the sponsorship of the race, your dad being so involved? I mean, what's that like for you from a driver's standpoint and from a standpoint of the rest of your family being involved? Is it any extra pressure or anything like that?
No, it's kind of like my home away from home race. There's so many people that come out to support here, so many you know, customers of Alpha that are in this region, and I get to meet them all, and I never met them before, and now they're like, you know, some of the biggest fans that we have, and I see them every year. We have dinners all the time. It's pretty cool to see that involvement and just those relationships that have been built because of this race. But I don't really have any extra pressure to me. I will say that their support is pretty cool. The things that they cheer for and the stories I hear from what they do up in the suite during the race, things they bet on, and it's just really cool to see that culture that they have and the fun that they're having at Martinsville. You know, I haven't really seen that at some of these other racetracks, and I feel like Martinsville provides the show and the platform, and it really is something fun for everybody that's involved.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.